Hello and welcome to this first impressions video. My name is Chris and today we're going to be looking at Apex Legends, the newest addition to the Battle Royale genre. I started with this game quite late, like a week after release, and now I've been trying my best to take as much time with it as I possibly can, and it's been worth it. It is a very fun game to play, and besides being fun, it's very good. It just stands well on its own. We're going to talk about the basic parts of the game, like graphics and sound and gunplay. We might delve into some details towards the end as well. It depends on how long this recording is. Let's start with the thing that you're going to be looking at the most, which is the graphics. It's a very pretty looking game. The fidelity of the graphics and the textures is so crisp. The colors are very nice. There's not too much bright stuff that can hurt looking at it, and overall, it's an excellent addition to the market. There's not like a lot to talk about there, and without going into immense detail, all the characters look amazing. All the buildings, while they are mostly gray, the buildings like gray and kind of dull in design, there are some more rickety sheds that are more interesting to look at. But there's not much you can do with that design, and yet they do look nice even from a distance. The water actually that's running through some parts of the map looks very nice. It's like the splash effects are very cool. The water is clear, and it looks good in that state. It doesn't look dirty somehow, which it can do still, even if it's supposed to be clean looking water. It's impressive what they managed to do. Then again, it's not exactly a small developer doing this. Respawn Entertainment has made some very good looking games with Titanfall, for example. But let's move on from that for now, and talk about the next really big thing in my opinion, which is gameplay. And I would argue gameplay is more important than graphics. But the gameplay is, simply put, well done. There's a lot of really small things that really make the gunplay and the interaction between the characters feel very both fun and exciting in each game you play. We can start with just the character interactions. The characters are very unique and diverse inside the game. You've got your typical soldier character, you've got your tracker, you've got some some specialists, you've got your bunkery type of tanky heroes that are kind of like slower, bulky, your mobility experts. There's a very large diversity right now in terms of abilities, and that just kind of adds so much depth to the gameplay, which is something I feel lacks in the end when you're playing PUBG or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds rather, or Fortnite. That the depth of the gunplay is quite limited. Sure, like the strategy and such is obviously what kind of makes the skill in these games. But in Apex Legends, it's not just strategy, but also how you use your characters and how you form your team. Because the characters have varying abilities and skills and attributes. Some are slower, some are faster, some are smaller, some are larger. And you can use that to your advantage. And adding that layer on top of the gameplay is what's adding the depth. And I'm actually mostly fond of this part of more than anything else. A lot of battle royales have done gunplay really well, Apex Legends is not alone in making the gunplay very good. That said, it does still stand out even in gunplay terms, because most of the guns are very fun and interesting to use. You've got same there. You've got your basic rifles, your assault rifles. You've got your SMGs, your pistols, your sniper rifles, and then you have those that kind of deviate from the norm by quite a lot, actually, and very it's very fun. Like, it's just diving into all the mechanics that is the gameplay. It's intuitive. It's easy to get in. It's easy to learn. It might take a couple of games still, but there's no complex algorithms going on, or something like that. The depth comes naturally to you. If you want to research it more, then sure, you can absolutely do that, but it will come naturally to you just by playing the game. You'll notice how things interact with each other just by playing the game. Something that's very rare, actually. A lot of games you will have to research and practice all these, maybe these combos, these synergies, but it's coming more and more naturally in Apex Legends than I've encountered in previous battle royales. And I think that's some fresh air right there. That's the added depth to this game isn't tacked on. It feels like they've really designed a lot around this. Just for example, the character abilities and the different guns can work together to add another other layer of depth. Some characters are faster and more mobile, so therefore a close range weapon might be more suited. Some characters are slower and have some need to get set up, and then a longer range weapon like a sniper rifle might be more suited to those characters. It's definitely worth even like taking a look at and taking some time to understand it. But even if you don't, it will come naturally to you. It's that well embedded into the game. I'm very impressed with how they managed to deliver it. Moving on to let's take sound next. The sound is it's not unique, and it's very good, of course. It's not unique. There's nothing amazingly cool about it. Okay, but with that said, I think credit is wherever credit is definitely due, because let's start with the guns. None of them sound the same. Even if you're listening from a distance, you can actually tell what gun is being fired. That adds identity to the weapons, and I like that. If you're listening from a distance and you're just hearing gunfire, then that's just like most battle royales at this point, I feel like. But if you can identify the exact weapon being used from a distance, that speaks volumes of the sound design. And it's very impressive that I am able to tell the difference between even different assault rifles, not just if it's a pistol or an assault rifle being fired. I can tell which one. They're that diverse. The quality of the sound is amazing. I've yet to notice anything that's stands out as particularly annoying to listen to. Yeah, the guns themselves very 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 good. The characters are the character voices, they sound good. We're gonna be a little honest here with the character voices. They're not all of them are amazingly well voice acted. It kind of adds a little bit of cheesiness to it, but it makes me laugh. It's more funny than anything. It's not terrible, of course. It could be way better. I have a hard time taking what they say seriously, and I think maybe that's the point. They're just kind of silly lines that they say. It's not supposed to be a very serious game, I don't think. because of its arcadey style. I mean, you can just take Pathfinder, one of the characters in the game, for example, who's a very cheerful and somehow always comes up with very nice things to say in a situation where people are just fighting to kill each other all the time. So yeah, that kind of speaks of how we should view these voice lines. And looking from that perspective, they're good. Like, the voice acting could obviously still like step up a little, slightly, I think. But they definitely get it quite well. Well, what else is there to talk about in sound? The environment. There's not a lot of ambient sound in the game. The only real ambience that you hear is from the map announcer that will announce relevant information, like whenever the first kill has happened, or when half the squad is left, half of all the squads are left, and if the ring is going to be closing. And it's not annoying. It's a nice little touch. It doesn't sound bad, of course not. It's a nice little touch. I think it's a little if anything, it's not needed. I'm trying to find the proper word here. I'm doing this without a script, so I haven't prepared any real catchy words to describe these things. If anything, it adds clarity, but it's not necessary. This clarity is not needed because it's available through your HUD and just paying attention to the world around you. It's very easy to tell where enemies are or friends are, because the footsteps of the characters are very loud. They're very audible and they're easy to locate. Apex Legends was designed on the Source engine, which is definitely well known for its sound design, and it really shows. It's easy to locate if an enemy is what kind of ground the enemy is running on, or how far away they are. I could go in depth with the sound, but this is not what this part is for quite yet. It's good all around. Like, every aspect feels, with the sound, feels like they really took a lot of time to make sure it sounds good no matter where you are on the map, and they've done pretty well, I think. The last thing we're going to be talking about in Big is the map design, and we can kind of briefly mention that Apex Legends made the decision to kind of deviate from the original format of 100 players per match in a battle royale to 60, and I think that was a good call. I do think so. And 40 players fewer, you might think, it's quite a lot. I was actually surprised when I found out that there would be 40 players less, but they made the map smaller, and I think this is a great idea. With a smaller map, there are more possibilities for varying map design. It's easier to make it more interesting, to distribute loot accordingly. It just works out much better in Grand. And because the map is smaller, then 60 players isn't going to make the map feel empty, because everyone is kind of close all the time, and all the paths intersect in a nice way. So it's so at some point you're going to meet people just because that's how the map is designed. It's hard actually to move around without getting spotted, which I think is a good thing. I'm of the crowd that doesn't think that camping should be encouraged in a battle royale. I think fighting should be encouraged, and giving everyone the tools needed so that they can fight properly. And with the improved loot table for the map and the loot distribution seemingly pretty good, it is very easy to become a participant in the battle quite quickly. Let's go into some details. That's like the big thing of all of this is overall it's really good. But if you go into some of the details, there are some things that they definitely could improve upon. And the one thing that immediately comes to mind is some of the, if this is less for the casual crowd, but maybe it's still relevant because the character designs can really alter your experience in the game. So far, the fast like the so far it seems to be much better to play a smaller, faster character over the larger, bulkier, slower characters. And if you're inexperienced with a battle royale game, I'll quickly go over why that might be. There's a lot of moving around and traversing the map, and if you're going to be a slow character trying to cross a large open field, if you're going to be spotted on this field, it's not going to be. It's quite likely that you're going to be spotted and potentially even killed. And if you're slower, that means it's going to take you longer before you get into cover. And the added downside is that these slower characters are usually big too. They're very easy to hit. So it's just kind of double negative for the slower characters. If you are a faster, smaller character, you have an easy time crossing these large gaps, and you're hard to hit. So if you're someone who's just looking to get into the game, and the first thing you pick is one of the slowest characters in the game, you're gonna find yourself struggling quite often. I think if you get the experience like I had, where I accidentally picked one of the slowest characters in the game, I felt so sluggish and difficult to move around all the time. I just didn't feel like I was comfortable maneuvering. But the games after, I picked some of the faster ones, and that immediately felt a lot better. So the game so far seems to be balanced more towards the faster characters, not just because of their abilities, but mostly because of their speed and their size. We can talk about abilities too. Some of them actually do have better abilities as well. The aforementioned character I talked about has a shield ability that he puts down. This shield ability kind of pales in comparison to another character who is way faster and way smaller, in that she can just shoot a smoke grenade at a location and completely deny vision. So the shield protects you from the damage, but they can still see you, whilst the smoke makes you essentially invisible at range. And in my opinion, and a lot of people I've spoken to about this as well, agree that it's just better to not be seen, really. So, and she can use this more often than the shield guy can. So, he's both slow, he's big, he has a pretty bad ability. So why would you play him besides the fact that you might like the way he sounds or looks? Which is why I think that these problems might be more for the hardcore crowd. If you're more of a casual gamer and you just like the way that this character looks, then you'll find a way around it. Of course, you'll find a way to enjoy it still. The characters are interesting in their own way. Everyone has lore, so if you want to delve into that, go ahead. There's plenty on their wiki. But for someone like me who's played a lot of games, and I like looking at these details, for longevity, I think you wanna balance out the speed of the characters. You wanna make them somehow similar, even though the sizes might differ. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but I still think there should be some similarities in how fast they move. Especially if they're a bit larger, they should at least have some sort of added bonus, like maybe make it harder to hit their head or something along those lines. Because right now it's just not beneficial to play slower characters and try to win the games. Some of the weapons in the game are also hilariously strong. They are there's a very simple double barrel shotgun. It's not double barrel actually. It's a pump action shotgun. That is You mean, I mean, on a large map, it's hard to imagine that a shotgun is the best, but it somehow happened anyway, and it's one of the few weapons in the game that has this really high damage potential next to sniper rifles. So they're polar opposites. The difference is that the shotgun is much easier to use because you can move around very fast using the shotgun, whilst the sniper makes you more and more stable, or more. It slows you down and forces you to be more stable to get these same shots. And even so, the shotgun is still going to be more efficient. And for the long run, if everyone's just going to run around trying to kill each other with shotguns all the time, then it's gonna become kind of stale if that's where the style of the game is gonna go. So I think they should definitely take a look at that as soon as they can. Make sure to balance out imbalance things like this. There's an assault rifle as well that is incredibly strong. It's a very simple rifle, and yet it has enough damage and fire rate and ammo in its magazine to be considered the best assault rifle. And I think they should tune these best weapons down a little bit, just a tad. Otherwise, across the board, I think they're pretty good. There's one exception. It's a pistol that also doubles as a shotgun, and it is currently the only weapon in the game that is considered to be unusable because it is absolutely terrible. I would argue that someone really messed up when they designed the weapon. I used like a shotgun pistol. I feel like, okay, so the fire rate might be really low, the mag size might be really low. Could they at least make up with damage? No, it's just terrible in every single aspect. They could remove it and no one would care. In fact, a lot of people would be happy, I think, if they did that. Moving on to some of the sound design, I guess. Talking about like the localization, being able to track characters very easily, and even where the guns are coming from quite accurately. The dynamic audio in where characters are, how far away they are from you. This is something that really impressed me. In like in battle royales, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of sounds you hear. So being able to locate sounds accurately is so paramount to being able to calculate where enemies might be and where they might go. And Apex Legends being run on a version of the Source engine is obviously going to have an advantage because the Source engine sound is known to be incredibly crisp. There's the issue with verticality in the sound and that means that if someone is below you or above you, it is much harder to hear like the difference between the two. But if they're on the horizontal plane, which is if they're in the same level as you, it is quite easy to tell where they are exactly. The volume of the footsteps increases quite quickly when they get close to you, so it's very easy to track if they're coming on they're on the same level as you, and they're rushing you. It's very easy to tell how close they are exactly, so you can calculate when they're about to come around a corner or open a door, and I like this a lot. But again, with the verticality with the verticality kind of downside, if someone's coming in to the same building as you, but you're on the top floor, they're on the bottom floor, it's a lot harder to tell when exactly they're coming up the stairs, for example. But the developers actually did consider this, because the stairs, if you run on the stairs, it sounds different from running on the floor. So they worked around this by adding a different sound to the stairs. It's a very small difference, but you can tell when they're on the staircase. And this is a vital thing to kind of work around the fact that sounds might lack in some cases, where you just add a different sound depending on what ground they're on. If they're running on sand, it'll sound like they're running on sand. If they're running on concrete, it'll sound like they're running on concrete, and so on. This will kind of make up for the fact that even though you might not be able to tell exactly where an enemy is, if you hear a sound that sounds like they're running on wood, you can locate that. Okay, where is a wooden house around here? It's over there, so they're most likely over there then. It's just an added like design thing that is in most games too, but you gotta still give it to the developers when they put the effort in to make it so clear what ground they're actually running on, especially when they're managed to do this through practical effects, which they mostly do. I think all of these really small things that we've talked about now makes it to the game that it is, which it has a lot of depth. A lot of the nitty gritty details with the sound and the graphics are very, very good. There are obviously things that could be improved upon, which is in all the cases. But with the considering how oversaturated the battle royale genre is right now, and for Apex Legends to stand out the way it does, I think it speaks volumes to the high quality of the game. And with that, I think it's a good idea to kind of wrap up this video. I'm probably going to be doing some more content from Apex Legends when they're adding new stuff or if they're changing anything major. I just think it's an interesting time to talk about this genre right now with this game coming out because of all the things it adds in terms of depth. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.